Welcome to the channel and to my latest Horus Heresy battle report. The Lords of the Night are here, the Raven Guard, and they're going up against the Lords of the Night, the Night Lords. Welcome to the world of Arcadia, a traitor world, a dark world, the skies filled with smoke and dust and industry. It's a key planet for the traitors, helping pump out lots of war material and helping supply the traitor forces. So the Raven Guard have infiltrated down into this site, and we want to get down into the industrial sector over here and set our charges and then disappear. But there are other Lords of the Night out there, the terror squads of the Night Lords. So we're going to be played Tide of Carnage. We actually rolled for the game and rolled for deployment, and it's table quarters. This table quarter and that table quarter, and it's 5 turns, and we'll be beating the snot out of each other. And at the very end of the game, if you've got any troops in your table quarter and no enemies in your table quarter, you score it. Same with no man's land in the middle of the battle grid, and same with your enemy's deployment zone, 3, 5 or 7 points depending on which zone you control, with troops in, line scoring units, and no enemy units, no enemy scoring units down there. Vehicles that are not flyers also count as scoring in this game. It's going to be nighttime as well, because the Night Lords are choosing the Terror Assault right of war, which means in turn 1 it is automatically nighttime, and turn 2 and turn 3 might become daytime again. The Raven Guard have deployed across this battle grid, and they've been caught out by the Night Lords. Night fighting is a very interesting rule in Heresy. Basically the way it works is, if you're more than 24 inches away, you can't shoot anything, you can't see that far. And if you're within 24 inches while it's nighttime, there's -1 to your ballistic skill and -1 to your leadership. And the Night Lords have fear. They have something that affects your leadership even more. And they can be given upgrades called Prey Sight, so they can ignore the night fighting rules. And if you ignore the night fighting rules, you also can't shroud against it. You can't evade those shots. And there's only one other force in Horus Heresy that can be given night vision as well, and that's the Raven Guard with improvisers, so they can see further and ignore the night vision rules. Not all of our factions, not all of our units have these, so some are going to be benefited from it, some are going to be nerfed by it. It's going to be very interesting. But one of the things the Raven Guards do as well is they shroud really well, and you can't shroud, you can't evade against night fighting, so that one gets kicked into the long grass as well. It's going to be a very cagey fight. It's going to be a very bloody fight with loads of troops spraying out and trying to tear the snot out of each other. Blood will flow across the streets of Arcadia. We welcome back to the channel Sam N. Say hi, Sam N.
Hi, Sam N.
Nice hat. I approve of hats.
Thank you.
Heresy or 40k?
Heresy.
Why?
The narrative. I think it tells the story better.
It does, doesn't it? Just things exploding and things, and you've brought Sevatar.
I brought Sevatar.
Sevatar's a G, yo.
He is, yeah.
He's one of the most terrifying independent characters in the book. He's very expensive.
Yeah, I think he's about 220 points.
Why do you like him so much?
I mean, he's basically a Primarch. He's basically got Primarch stats. Yeah, he punches stuff really well. So your characters will be feeling it this game.
Oh, yes. Okay, so here is bang on 3,000 points of Raven Guard Decapitation Strike. Now, Raven Guard's special rule is, it's not one thing. They have 3 things: Hawks, Talons, and Falcons. What does that mean? It means that all the infantry down here, not the heavy support squad and not these guys, they can all infiltrate. And if you infiltrate, it also gives you outflank. And if you infiltrate, have an infiltrating squad in a vehicle, that can infiltrate or that can outflank. And that rhino there with the... It's 40 points for a rhino with a dozer blade, 70 points as soon as you put a multi-melter on it. It's very expensive and it's only a rhino, but one squad has got that as a dedicated transport. So infiltrate and outflank is a thing. Instagram phase going on over my shoulder. The other thing that they can do is they get shrouded if you're more than 8 inches away, but Prey Sight will ignore that. Again, not all of the units have Prey Sight, but Prey Sight will ignore that. The other rule that kicks into effect for the Falcons isn't going to kick into effect for this thing. And over here, the other thing that happens for the Hawks is they re-roll once to wound when they charge. Won't really matter because of all the Raven's Talons, except for the axes and the hammers over here. And I've picked the Rite of War Decapitation Strike, which means you can only bring one heavy. So I've got one heavy support slot here, no fortifications. And you get preferred enemy independent character. There's only one independent character in the Night Lord's force, but wherever Sevatar is, anything that targets him and his unit will be re-rolling hit rolls and wound rolls of 1. Decapitation Strike, we're here to take out Sevatar. And in addition, if you do take out the enemy warlord, I get an extra 2 points. It's a Rite of War that gives you points. It's amazing. So I'm taking it along to see how I go. And leading the charge today is Praetor Arcus. Sorry, he's called Arcan. My Praetor Arcan with master crafted Raven's Talons. And joining him is a jump chaplain with master crafted Raven's Talons. Sam, you see all the red talons all over the place?
Yes.
They're not lightning claws, they're Raven's Talons, which means they're better lightning claws. Lightning claws rend on a 6, these things raid on 5s.
Very nice.
So they're every model that can take a Raven's Talon here, I've given them a Raven's Talon. So the sergeants on the troops, the biker thing back there. Okay, so that's what all the red Raven's Talons are. We have 2 tactical squads. The sergeant's got Artificer Armor, Phosphor Serpentias and Raven's Talons. I haven't given them improvisers because they're just troops and they can only fire at 24-inch range anyway. And the one in the front here has got an augury scanner on in case there was any infiltrating on the opponent's side, because the augury scanner pushes infiltrators back. I want to out-infiltrate. But the Night Lords, they haven't got any infiltrators. They're just bleeding out of the shadows. So 2 squads here, bolt guns, all that sort of nastiness. What I have done, though, is all of these units down the middle do have improvisers, which means they ignore nighttime. And also the sergeants in those squads get +1 to hit, which is nice. So 4 squads of recon marines. In each squad, there's 2 melter bombs because I had points left over. And they count as lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the tank. 7 line units, which need to be alive at the end of the game in order to score. And they've all the recon squads, they have skirmish, so they get +1 save if they're in a ruin from cover. And they also have shroud bombs, which means any shooting against them is counts as more than 8 inches away. Basically -8 to the range of your shooting. So it makes bolters and melters and things like that a bit more long range. So yeah, they've all got their improvisers. My heavy slot here, because there isn't much anti-infantry in this. There's a lot of anti-tank. This is a heavy squad. They've all got Volkite Cavaliers. Volkite Cavaliers are 5 shots each. So this is 50 shots. 50 shots with improvisers. The sergeant hasn't got Artificer Armor. On the big squad of 9 bikers in the backfield, though, this is a really expensive unit because they've all got multi-melters. The sergeant's got an improviser, Artificer Armor, Raven's Talons, all that sort of shenanigans. This is going to hit like a truck and then die because it's toughness 4 with 2 wounds. So they do get doubled out by anything with strength 8 or higher. Over here, a unit of javelins with las cannons and multi-melters. You can't put improvisers on this squad because there's not a character there. I wish you could. Round this side, we had a squad of Dark Furies. Inside the squad of Dark Furies, there's 3 choosers of the slain. What does that mean? Well, this whole squad has got Raven's Talons and Sudden Strikes that are up to initiative 5 on the charge. But the 3 choosers of the slain have a better weapon skill, have a higher number of attacks, and have Artificer Armor and Melter Bombs. So it's all about keeping those 3 choosers of the slain. The narrative behind this is Dark Furies deep strike in, they drop in behind enemy lines. And the Dark Furies back up the choosers of the slain as they try and hunt down and slay the enemy warlord, who happens to be Sevatar, who I'm terrified of because he's an absolute beast. And then in the backfield, we have 10 Tartarus Terminators, 6 of them with Raven Talons, 2 with hammers, 2 with axes, and the jump chaplain is going to be joining them. My warlord trait is the hidden hand because it just fits the narrative. What that means is if my Praetor's in reserve, I can re-roll reserves. but he's not going to be in reserves. I haven't picked it for that. I picked it because it's cool and it fits the narrative, and it gives me 2 reactions in the movement phase. Oh, and the once per battle Raven Guard special rule is when you pick a unit and start shooting at a unit, they can shroud on a 4-up and move. And if that move brings them out of line of sight or range, you lost the shots. It just bounces. You just fire into the smoke. They're tricksy like that. So the idea with this force is I've got lots of infiltrating units that can spread out across the battlefield and get to the places where I need to be, or outflank with them if I choose to. I could choose to deep strike the bikes in depending on whether I have first turn or not, and choose to deep strike the Dark Furies in. And then the idea is to suppress, to snipe, to move forward with the kill teams and try and take out as many troops as I can. But we've been ambushed by the Night Lords, not Raven Guard. We're the Raven Guard. We've been ambushed by the Night Lords. And here are the Night Lords. Night Lords, whenever they attack a unit that's pinned, falling back, or less models than them, they get +1 to wound. So the idea is, the other thing about Night Lords is a lot of the units that are normally 10 man strong, you can get up to 15 to really pressure the +1 to wound thing. And I've got quite a few 5-man squads over there. So that's what they do. And their special reaction is when I declare a charge against them, they can fall back.
Yes.
Step back out of the way. Discretion is the better part of valor, I think it's called. You've brought a similar-ish list.
Yes.
You've also brought Terror Assault.
Yeah, Terror Assault. So we're going to start in night fighting.
Yeah.
All my characters, so basically all the sergeants in the squad, have Fear 1.
Yeah.
Sevatar himself has Fear 2.
Yeah.
And there's an additional fear when you're night fighting.
Yeah, unless you've got the improvisers in my squad, but it stacks with night fighting.
Correct, yes.
So whenever taking leadership tests, you can pin, you can fall back, you can make the army react to you, which then
benefits my my Legion trait as such with the +1 to wounds.
Yeah.
And try and get that off basically.
So very scary. It also does terror squads become troops, but not line.
Correct. Yeah.
So line for you is tactical squad.
Yeah.
Breachers.
Tactical squad. This is
Tactical squad. You've got 2 rhinos, which will count as scoring. A Legion Vindicator with a Magna Blaster, which will count as scoring. And Sevatar's joining a command squad of Cataphracti with a standard.
Correct.
So they become scoring as well. Turns out you got 7 scoring. I've got 7 scoring. Would you like to talk us through what you've got?
Yeah. So we'll start with Sevatar.
Yes.
His special rule is he's master of the Acromentar. So basically, he gives any of my Terminators Deep Strike.
Okay.
Contico already have Deep Strike, but the main thing is when they come in that turn, they have Preferred Enemy Everything.
Okay.
Which is really nice.
Okay.
And he also gives me an additional movement phase reaction.
Yes, but he doesn't get it, and he's joining those guys.
Correct.
So they're going to be on foot.
They're going to be on foot.
Because they're a command squad, which means he can never split from them.
Correct, yes.
Until they're all dead, and then he can split from them. Okay, so Deep Strike. You've got an extra reaction in the movement phase.
Correct, yes.
I've got an extra action in the movement phase. It's going to be a bit cat and mousey.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so a tactical squad with a Vexilla.
Similar to you, my tactical squads all have Artificer armor.
Yes.
However, my squads have Vexillas in. One here and one on this guy's backpack.
I didn't put Vexillas in my squad. You know why?
Well, I don't know why.
Because Raven's Guards hit and run.
Right.
So I feel like if we're falling back, if we will just fall back, we'll go.
Yeah, you don't need it.
So yeah, I feel they don't have
well, they could run off the board, right?
Yes. What I mean is they don't have hit and run the rule.
Yeah.
What I mean is that's their narrative. Their narrative is they strike and fade. Yeah. So it didn't fit in my brain that they have Vexillas everywhere. Yeah. Like if we're falling back, we're falling back.
Yeah, now they can just strike and then run away from the Night Lords.
No, tactically reposition. They can strike and then tactically reposition from the Night Lords. So 2 tactical squads. This is a squad of breachers.
Correct. They've all got Volkite on them.
Nice.
And breacher shields, melter bombs on the sergeant, and he's got power weapon.
In this squad?
Correct.
Beast. Okay, I like it.
So they're pretty nice. First time using them, so it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Flat 5 up and vulnerable save.
Correct.
They are heavy though, so they can't run, but lots of extra shots and things.
Yeah.
I like it. We have a Contemptor Dreadnought with melters all round.
Melter in the fist, yeah. That's him. And
Vindicator,
then,
Magna Laser
So I
Destroyer.
only allowed one heavy support. This is it. He's got the Magna Laser Destroyer.
I like these. It's armor 13 and then 13. I think it's 10 or 11 on the back, but 13 on the front and sides is really cool.
Yeah.
And that gun is really cool.
Yeah. And he's got prey sight. So again, it's similar to your rule. It ignores night fighting and you can't shroud against it, basically.
Okay, so that's prey sight.
Yeah.
What else has got prey sight?
The javelins, the scimitar jet bikes, and the Xiphon interceptor.
Okay, so your javelins have got the missile launchers, heavy bolters, so
Correct.
you've loaded them up more anti-infantry.
Yes.
Your bikers?
They've all got plasma.
Okay.
I like to try and kill myself.
Okay.
So yeah, they've got the plasma. Sergeant's just got a power weapon on him.
Yep.
And that's it. So
Okay.
they're just fast. They're mobile fire support, basically. Those platforms, very similar to you.
Yeah. Siphon interceptor to come in from reserve.
Yeah. He may come in. He may not come into turn 4. Maybe later. Yeah.
Over here.
We got a small unit of Night Raptors.
Okay.
They're pretty good actually. They're 2 wings each. Sergeant's got either fighter armor. Weapon skill 5.
Okay.
And I think if they make a charge, they get +1 initiative.
Okay. So it's similar to my guys then.
Yeah, we've just got a few less of them.
Have they got chainsaws though?
They've got chain blades.
Okay.
Which is the Night Lords have like chain glaives and chain blades. I think it just gives a different rending profile and maybe an extra attack.
Yep.
The Sergeant has the Headman's Axe. It's a strength A AP2 weapon, which is nice.
Is it unwieldy?
I'm not too sure. I'd have to check.
But some nasty weapons in there.
Some nasty weapons. They punch pretty nicely and they're fast.
Over here.
This is an apothecary detachment because I like to have a feel no pain.
Okay. So
unless you've got lots of melters into me T4.
And your apothecaries are where now?
So obviously the jet bike apothecary is with the jet bikes.
Yeah.
This guy is with the Contacar, not the Contacar, the command squad.
Yes.
I'm going to have one more with the Contacar and
Yes.
one with the breacher squad.
Okay. This guy's got Terminator plate.
He does because it looks cool.
You can't put apothecaries in Terminator plate, dude. He needs to be a Primaris Medicae, which costs a lot more points. So we'll get back to you.
Yes.
A few moments later.
Yeah.
2 apothecaries.
Yeah, I should read the rules properly.
1 on a bike. Yeah, it's in the apothecarian detachment thing. They can take jump packs, bikes, and the bikes.
Yeah.
So, and apothecaries that are not in Terminator armor, this has tripped some people up before, can't join units that have Terminator armor. So you can't just put a normal apothecary in there. So if you want an apothecary in Terminator plate, you have to get a Primus Medicae. Basically, they're more expensive. So we've got 2 now. 1 in the bikes, 1 in this guy. And then, is he joining the Terminators or is he joining Sevatar's
He's
unit?
in Cataphracti plate, so it makes sense he joins Sevatar because they're in Cataphracti.
But if you put him with the other Contacars, he can deep strike, and then I get preferred enemy against that unit and that unit. Because now you've got 2 characters.
You've convinced me to do this.
Okay. Right, so we sorted that out. Yeah, blending out from... The thing about night fighting as well, this is one of the reasons why I love Night Lords, is night fighting, the way the rules work is, if both sides want night fighting, then it's night fighting on a mission that allow it. If one side wants night fighting and the other side doesn't, then you roll for it. But Night Lords can always choose for it to be night fighting.
Yeah, with the terror assault.
With the terror assault. So it is night fighting, and it will last a minimum of 2 turns as well. So you've got some punch. You've got some punch. You've got some punch. You've got lots of troops to score all over the place. You've got deep striking options in the backfield as well. And a fair amount, not as much anti-tank as me, because less melters and things.
And stuff, yeah.
But yeah, the Vindicator's got anti-tank, the Dreadnought can anti-tank, the Flyer can anti-tank, and you said you got some melter bombs sprinkled here?
Yeah, I've got melter bombs here. I think that's about it. Just melter bombs and breacher squad.
Okay.
But to be fair, you've not got that many vehicles. I mean, they're all quite low toughness if they are.
Yeah.
And these Contacars love eating infantry, and you've got lots of infantry.
I've got loads of infantry for you to eat.
Yes.
Let's go on to deployment. Right, we're deployed. Before we look at the board, deep strike, normal reserves, flanking assault. And your Contacars are deep striking, and this thing's flying on. So there's 5 units off the board at the start of the game, and the Night Lords are going first, unless the Raven Guard want to seize the initiative, and I don't think I'll even bother. I think I'll let the Night Lords go first. The way it goes in Heresy is you roll a dice and the winner of the roll off deploys first and goes first unless there's a seize. And I've really tried hard to counter deploy. Here is my outflank token. And you've got tacticals here in these two rhinos. Yeah. There's the skimmers, the javelins ready to zip around all over the place. And there's the Legion of Vindicator with its 36-inch range because it's got prey sight. Taking up the center of the field, of course, is Sevatar with his command squad and the terror squad are with him. And you put the bikes on the board as well because they have prey sight, so they're not worried about the darkness which is rolling across the battlefield. And holding on to the left flank down here is the Breacher squad and the Contemptor Dreadnought. So remember, you've got to have troop units in your quarter, in no man's land, and in my quarter, and no troop units in any of those quarters, including your tanks by the end of the game. There's an extra point for last man standing, having more units left on the board, and an extra point if you manage to slay the Warlord, which of course will be an extra 3 points for me because of Decapitation Strike. I've put snipers along the backfield here, 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 and all the way tucked down over here. Put them in cover wherever I can because they have skirmish, so they get +1 to their cover saves. In the middle of the battle grid, the only thing forward for me is the Raven Guard Tartarus squad with my chaplain and my warlord. Danger close to Sevatar's lines and things like that, but I need to put something in front. Right at the back are the Dark Furies and the javelins, and supporting them on the Sky Shield landing pad is the heavy support squad with all the culverins, and it is Night Lords, turn 1. Here we are after the Night Lords movement phase. Rhinos zipping down from left to right along with the speeders, and the Night Raptors that were in the centre have jumped back, tactically repositioning behind this wall here, ready to jump out a bit later. The Magna Laser Destroyer Vindicator on all the bikes are aiming all the way down the table to my heavy squad, which are there. And Sevatar and his Terminators just move forward, closer towards my Terminator blob. The lines are drawn over on this side. Breachers walking forward. They can't run. The Contemptor did run forward, but the lines are drawn. They're getting closer. And you're starting the shooting phase with the Vindicator.
Vindicator into your heavy sports.
Firing everything up here. This is 3 shots. Hitting on 3s. Everything hits. And it's strength 9 AP1, so it's 2s to wound. And we have 2 wounds, 5 up on this, and you nuke 2 of them. Then 8 plasmas from the bikes, plasma cannons, raining into the same squad. Do any of the weapons get hot? One of them does, so one of them take a wound. Feel no pain that though, because you've got an apothecary in there, so you're fine. So we're scattering this 8 times, so we'll come back to you after we've rolled a lot of dice and see how many times this hits. A few moments later, here's all the hits at strength 7, so 2s to wound, but 4s breach. So these are 3-up saves, and they're heavy, and you can re-roll saves against blast. So there's 1 dead, and these are all 5-up saves. Re-rolling. So there's only 2 left in my heavy support squad after plasma washes in amongst them. Now we're coming across to the javelins that are firing everything up at this sniper squad here. Do they have prey sight?
They have prey sight and they have heavy bolters and cyclone missile launchers.
Nice. Okay, so the prey sight bolters will hit on 3s and wound on 3s with 3-up saves. 2 of them are dead. Here's the missile launchers, Cyclone Variety, which are twin linked, 2 shots each, and that is 5 hits, and these hit wound on 3s, strength 8.
Wound on 2s.
Wound on 2s, what am I talking about? AP3 would normally go straight through the armour. So cover save, which is a 5, but 4 because skirmish.
Yeah.
And another one dies, so 3 in that squad are wiped out. That is the end of the shooting phase, 2 units getting utterly decimated there. These guys are leadership 8. Night fighting would be -1 to my leadership normally, but they have improvisers, so they ignore night fighting. So just a leadership 8, and they're breaking. They're falling back. 3 6 inches. And then the sniper squad up there, same thing, leadership 8, because they're improvisers, they hold. So the Raven Guard were trying to sneak their way down to the generators on this side of the battlefield, to the industrial sector, and they've been counterstruck by the Night Lords, who've come racing in and absolutely rinsed away my heavy support squad, which will need to regroup at the start of my turn, which they do. And with the Night Lords pressuring down towards the Raven Guard's lines, I need to think really long and hard about the few units that I have on the table and how to respond to this in Raven Guard's turn 1. At the end of my movement phase, the Raven Guard hold for now, except for some movement with my Terminators here, making sure Sevatar's unit can't pounce on me next turn with a close charge. I could have moved closer to him, and you can only make movement reactions if you can see a unit, so it couldn't have moved. But I am very aware of your advanced reaction.
Yes.
So when I charge you, you can move.
Yeah.
So then my Terminators will be exposed and in the open. They'd be right here. But yeah, I need you closer to me first. So I'm staying still. And instead I'm going to fire loads of sniper weaponry into Sevatar's unit. And we're going to start with this unit here. The Sergeant hits on a 2 and the other guy hits on a 3. And they both hit. And Nemesis Bolters will wound on 3s, but 5s breach. And that one breaches, and it's precision fire. I'm going to put it on the banner guy.
The banner? Okay,
yeah.
Interesting.
Well, he dies, that doesn't score.
Okay, very nice.
So 4 up and vulnerable save.
4 up and vulnerable. What'd you make?
Okay. Over here, we got down and had a good look, and there's 4. That can see your banner guy.
Yep.
Sergeant. Other guys. Looking for 3s and 5s. He gets hit again. Another 4 up and vulnerable save. And he takes a wound.
Apothecary.
Apothecary gives him sweeties. He's absolutely fine. And then there's this unit that can all see you. Here's the Sergeant with the improviser. Here's the other shots. Trying to take down that banner. Okay, 2 armor saves, 1 invulnerable save.
2 armor. Fine. Yeah. And invulnerable.
Fine. He's shrugging every single one.
Because I play Custodes.
Yeah. Then the Volkite squad, which regrouped. Can fire down here. They're snap firing. You might as well shroud this because you can.
Yep, shrouding.
And I need 6s to hit you, and they're strength 6. So it wounds. So they have a 3 up armor save, which you make.
Nice.
And then we're on to the last unit of snipers down here. Can we actually see anything? Well, there's a Dreadnought about to come charging towards them. And 5's breach. So let's shoot at a Dreadnought. A 2 and a 3. That's 3 hits. I need 5s to rend the Dreadnought. And that is 1 invulnerable save on your Dreadnought.
5 up.
And that's the end of my shooting phase. Sniper fire blasts off across and into the Night Lord's lines and causes no damage whatsoever. And we're about to go on to Night Lord's turn 2. So you need to roll for your reserve, see if they come on.
Oh, here we go. See if they come on before turn 4,
so,
shall we?
What are you rolling for first?
Let's go with the flyer first.
Flyer on a 3.
Yes.
It's in. And the deep strikers? They're not in. In the Night Lord's movement phase, this Rhino is snuck down to this quarter of the battle grid, and that one's staying back there while the flyer zips overhead. And then units continue to jump forward. The Javelin Bikers, there's Sevatar with the Night Raptors behind, getting closer to my lines, but not overextending at this time. The Bikers jumped up and over. One of them took a dangerous terrain test, and so did one of the Raptors as well. So one of them have both taken a wound each as they jump in and out of terrain, and rebars hit them, or little claymores go off as they fly past. But the dividing lines between the Night Lords and the Raven Guards is still big, except over here where this Contemptor Dreadnought came running down towards these sniper squads here. They're not going to be long for this world. Next turn he will be in close combat, but he can't climb all the way up to the top of the ruin to trouble these guys, and he's not shooting this turn because he ran. But we are going on to the shooting phase. Where do you want to start? You've got a lot of options.
Sure, open up with the Vindicator again.
Open up with the Vindicator. What's the Vindicator shooting at?
Shooting the Terminators.
Shooting the Terminators. I think I'm going to do my once per battle thing, which means I can move my initiative. So shots from the Vindicator came in at my Terminators, but they reacted. Advanced reaction, ducking into the train this way. It gives them a 4-up shrouding, and it means that the shot from the Vindicator just fires into smoke. And part of the reason for doing that is, yes, I'm closer to Sevatar and all of his nastiness, but it's also shutting down much of the line of fire that'll come in from the bikers as well. After the Terminators jumped back into the ruin over there, we come across to the Cataphracti, which are firing up at the 2 remaining snipers up here. No Prace Knight in that squad though, so you are hitting on 4s, but they are twin linked. After re-rolling, 5 hits and 4s to wound. And we have 4 wounds. And I've got full armor saves, and there's only the Sergeant left alive in that squad. Next, firing across the battle grid is the Xiphon Interceptor, 2 twin-link las cannons, plus the rotary missile launcher is coming into the scouts down here, which is in total 5 shots, and it's all twin-linked, so we'll do it all together. So does this? It has prey sight, so it's hitting on 3s with the re-rolling, and then this will wound on 2s. And that is 3 wounds. They're in a crater, which would normally give you a 6, but a 5 because of skirmish. And 3 of them get evaporated. With shots splitting to the right and to the left, the bikers, the Sky Hunters, which were going to fire down at the Terminators. There's only a couple that can draw a line of sight in on the Terminators now. So the Sergeant in the unit orders them to switch their fire and fire everything down at the 2 remaining heavy support squad. And my Volkite unit are evaporated, but at the same time, one of the plasma cannons blew up on the front of the Sky Hunters, and one of them is dead as well. Last thing left to fire are the unit of javelins down here, and they can draw line of sight to the Dark Furies that were chilling next to the Sky Shield landing pad. There's 6 Cyclone missile launchers coming out. They have prey sight. They're hitting on 3s.
It's twin linked, luckily.
And it is twin linked, which is good because you missed 4 times. And now you missed twice. So that is 4 hits, which will wound on 2s. And that is 4 wounds. I got 6 up saves because I'm not in ruin, but there's stuff in the way. Or I could tank some of this on Artificer. How many wounds was it? 4?
4 wounds, yeah. And
let's tank some on Artificer because it isn't. There's 3 models in there, the Choose of the Slain with Artificer. So let's do one at a time. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. And we're alive. Then heavy bolters rain in as well on 3s. And wound on 3s. And this time, only 3 wounds. I'll put them on a normal guy because 3 up saves. I'm good. All the shots just smash into the Sky Shield landing pad and don't wound the Dark Furies. And I think that's the end of your shooting phase.
I think it's the end of my turn.
That's the end of turn 2. This lone sergeant, recon sergeant up here needs to make a leadership test. And somehow, some way, he holds as we go into Raven Guard. Turn 2. 1 minute. Got another leadership test to make here. And they hold leadership 8 with a sergeant.
And they ignore the -1.
They ignore the night fighting thing, yeah. Nice. So they managed to hold. We might as well do my reserves. Let's see if the bikes turn up on a 3. They do. Does the Rhino, which is outflanking, turn up on a 3? It doesn't. And does the normal tactical squad turn up? They do. So just the Rhino is off the battle grid for now. Okay, in the Raven Guard movement phase, decisions had to be made because I've been taking casualties, but so far the Night Lords have been ducking every single sniper shot. So down here, the sniper unit have ran back this way to duck and cover after getting lit up by the Xiphon Interceptor flying down the city streets. These 2 sniper squads are staying still, even though that there is a dreadnought charging down towards me with lots of melters and things. The goal here, I mean, I could go charging, and I do have 2 melter bombs, but they're just Legion Tacticals in recon armor, so we'll be hitting that on 5s. There's no way I could kill it in close combat. But what I can do with the snipers, potentially, is pin the breaches, and if I do enough wounds, make them fall off the battle grid. Is there a Vexilla in there?
There is not.
There isn't a Vexilla in there, so that is a thing I could potentially do. So that's what's happening along the backfield. Then the javelins jump forward. They don't have night fighting, so I need to get within 24. And I've moved them around so they're all within 24-inch range of the bikes to throw some firepower down that way. The Dark Furies jump forward, take a bunch of wounds as they land in terrain. And then my command squad, or my Terminators with my Praetor and my Chaplain came busting through the wall, and your Skimmers fell back. And the Night Raptors fell back. What are they called?
Yeah, the Night Raptors.
Night Raptors, I got it right. They fell back because you've got 2 reactions in the movement phase, but Sevatar is standing there taunting them for now. Probably because when I charge them, he's going to fall back using his once per battle thing. But right now, taunting. There's some taunting going on. Then my reserves. First, the unit of tacticals came on this way. I've got to charge. I've got to do some damage over here. And secondly, the bikers want to try and deep strike in the backfield. Let's find out how horribly this goes. That's not horrible at all. So they come deep striking in here, right next to the Rhino, deep in the Night Lord's deployment zone. And then they open fire. We have 9 twin-linked metal shots into Rhino, and one of them hits on a 2. Twin-linked, that's the Sergeant. Here's all the other shots. Twin-linked, and yes, I know I'm firing at a Rhino. And there's, drop dice don't count, Terminators and Flyers and tanks and things, but at the moment, that's your only scoring unit in your own deployment zone. So let's try and get rid of it. Armor Bane at this range. So it's 2d6, pick the highest with all of these. 1 minute. That's a pen. Then a pen. Then another pen. Another pen. Another pen. I'll keep rolling off camera. 8 penetrating hits. Does it go boom? Any 6s? Or 5s, sorry. Yes, that's an explosion. It blows up. 2 inches. The explosion catches 3 of my bikes and wounds them on 2s. And 3 of them are wounded. And 2 of them get wiped out in the explosion. Meanwhile, in the tank, 10 guys are injured. They need to take armor saves as well. 1's a 2 up. And the rest are 3 ups. Ooh. And a pinning test at night time. And they're okay. Boom. The unit get blown out of a vehicle. The hammer strike from the Sky Hunters works. Now I come round to this unit that came in from reserve. See, I could shoot at the javelins and charge them, but they're gonna return fire in Overwatch, so that's going to be quite painful. So it's probably better if I try and shoot and wound the Rhino and try and surround this Rhino, which is also a troop scoring unit. The only thing that can hurt it is the Phosphor Serpenter on my Sergeant, and it hits both of the times, and I need 6s. It doesn't do anything. Then we move across to this lone sniper on his own, looking down at Sevatar. Let's shoot him in the head. A hit. And I don't wound him. So the Terminators that want to charge Sevatar's unit will fire in with combi bolters. And these guys are hitting on 4s because I didn't give them prey sight, but it is all twin linked. And then they wound on 4s and managed to pour 2 wounds in, but 2 up saves, which you make. Then we come across to the javelins, trying to put everything on the bikes. You shrouding this?
It's either react or shoot back or shroud. I'm going to shroud.
You're going to shroud? We're going to shroud. Here's twin-linked multi-melters, which need 4s to hit. And 2 of them hit. And then the 6 las cannon shots need 4s to hit because of nighttime. And 2 of those hit as well. These will kill on 2s.
Oh no.
1 wound. 1 shroud of 5 up.
5 up. Hey.
And you shroud it anyway. So the javelins have pulled their way out of position and they're in trouble now. Oh no. Okay. Sniper fire down into breaches. Let's try and get them running off the table. I'm hitting on a 2 and on a 3. I'm wounding on 3s, but 5's breach. So I'll put those 2 on your Sergeant, and he's got a 5+ invulnerable save.
5 up.
And he's gone.
He's gone.
And that's a pinning test.
And I had a normal save on another guy, right?
You made 1 failed one, so that's your Sergeant gone.
What strength of the weapons there? You did roll a 3 as well. You had 2
Oh yeah,
one way.
and then
make that
okay,
save.
you make that save.
Pinning.
Not -1. So you lost your sergeant, so it's you're fine, that's definitely lower.
Yeah.
Squad number 2 we're going to fire in as well. And they hit, I should have done the 2 separately, so I'll do that differently. And they all breach. Have you got any other specialist things in there?
No, but they've all got the breach of shields, so it's just the invulns.
3 5-up saves. So 2 more die, and they take another pinning test at 6. And they're not pinned.
Okay.
And I killed 3 in total, however, which will be 25% casualties. And that is the end of my shooting phase. And because they suffer 25% casualties, it's another leadership test to see if they fall off the table. And they do fall off the table. That's higher than their leadership. They fall back 8 inches, which is enough for a model to hit the board edge. And they're gone. Finally, something worked for me. Sniper fire didn't pin that unit. But in taking out the sergeant, the rest of the Night Lords break. And that is the end of my shooting phase. So now we're going to come across here. And we're going to charge. And this unit of bikers want to charge your tactical marines. No reactions happening. We charge in, snake eyes, and I lost a biker when skimming in from terrain as well. So you actually haven't shot at this unit yet, and 3 bikers are dead. Yeah. And they're really expensive with bolty melters. They landed in here, the explosions took them out, a short charge, 1 fell off the mount. It's horrible, it's nighttime. Now we're coming across here to my Terminator lot, which wants to charge Sevatar's unit. Are you doing your once per game advance?
It'd be rude not to.
Okay, 2d6 fallback. Hopefully you roll really low. That's 10. A 10. That's not really low. I still have to roll, however, which means I'm surging forward 6 inches, -2 for terrain, 4 inches, and then you half for a surge move. That's a 2-inch surge. And at the end of all of that shenanigans, my Tartarus squad come out of position. Sevatar takes a few steps back and is still taunting them. And there's one last charge, which is the tactical squad versus the Rhino. I might as well tag this squad as... you've already done your reaction. So yeah, I might as well tag that squad and do a double charge. And we charge 11. Dude, that's really interesting. We end up surrounding your Rhino. My sergeant is going to hit your javelins. Everyone else is going to hit the Rhino. It happens at the same time though, so your javelins can fight first. Javelins pile in. We're going to do them first, hitting back on 4s. And that is 4 hits. They're wounding on 4s, but they are chainswords, so you get to rev them up and shred, and that is 4 wounds, and I'm not going to put any on my sergeant. So these are 4 3-up saves. And the javelin pilots managed to take down 2 of my squad. Then my sergeant hits your javelins on 4s. He hits once. Strength 4 versus toughness 6. I need 6s with a shred. Doesn't do anything. Then we do the guys hitting the Rhino. Now, this all happens at the same time, and this is going badly for me because right now I'm losing the combat. And if I fail to put at least 2 glancing wounds on the Rhino, I could fail a leadership test and fall off the table.
I think you're fear,
which would be
3 at the moment.
Fear 3, because it's nighttime plus Sevatar, so I really, really need to hurt that Rhino. But it's a vehicle, so I do hit it on 2s. 6's glance, I need at least 2 or I'm in really, really big trouble. I get 1 glance through, which means I lost that combat by 1. Leadership -3 right now. That's a leadership -4. I got to roll a 4 or less. Or this unit came charging on, tried to surround that Rhino, and look, my rolling low helped.
Nice.
They're locked up. And that's okay. The reason why I've done this is because the Rhino can't pull back now and the guys can't get out because it's surrounded. The javelins could fall back, but then they're not shooting at anything. Actually, the javelins can't fall back because you can't do that in Heresy. So we're locked up and this fight is ongoing. I am aware that there are some squads that could do something about this, but we're locked up for now. Right, let's go on to the other combat, which is all the bikers. 2 of them managed to get in there straight. So 2 of them will do Hammer of Wrath hits and both of those wound.
3-ups.
And then we fight We fought with the Night Lords first. They put 1 wound on the bikes. The sergeant in the Night Lord squad has still yet to swing his power fist. It's unwieldy, it will go last. But hopefully the squad won't be there as I hit them on 3s with my chainswords and wound them on 4s. But we also shred, so we get to re-roll. And then there's the sergeant who hits on 4s. And this is a Raven's Claw, so it wounds on a 4. So those are at AP3 and those are at AP dash. Not tanking any on the sergeant because you want him to fight. So these are all 3-up saves for now.
5 at first. 5
okay.
3-ups.
1 dice.
And then these 3-ups. So it kills 3.
3 in total.
We'll then kill another guy.
Yes.
And then we have 1 more save.
Yes.
Which will tank on a 2-up. Oh no.
He's dead. You got 1 guy left in that squad. Leadership test on the Vexilla.
Minus a lot.
That's definitely a fail. You lost 5.
Runs 8, but you
well,
can't fall off the
sweet,
board.
yeah, because he's got a Vexilla. Yeah. He actually moves 1d6, not 2d6. So we'll fall back 4, but we have initiative roll off. And I rolled a 6. So that unit is swept. At the end of that combat, we consolidate, and that is the end of turn 3 for the Raven Guard. And it was going horribly wrong, but in that turn, they've removed 3 scoring units, a unit of breachers, the Rhino, and the Tactical Squad. And all of a sudden, there are no scoring units down here in the Night Lord's deployment zone. But Sevatar is uninjured, the Terror Squad are uninjured, and the jumpy dudes, they can go a long way to deal with some of this, or the Terminators could come forward to deal with some of the pressure from the Raven Guard right up the center of the field. Meanwhile, the Flyer is uninjured, the Vindicator Laser Tank Destroyer is uninjured, and this big unit of plasma bikes here, well, you've only lost 1 of them. So they're still very combat effective, and there is a Dreadnought around this side of the battle grid about to come charging down towards my scoring units, and you've got 10 Terminators that appear on a 3.
Would you like to see if they come back?
I'd love to see if they come in. I'm looking forward to watching you roll one of your famous ones. If you could roll one, that'd be lovely.
Here we go.
That's a 2. They're not in.
Yep.
They're not going to be here until turn 4. In turn 3, it becomes daylight. Automatically, should you wish it to be, or on a 4+, you can keep it nighttime.
We're going to try and keep it nighttime.
And it's daylight as well. There is a break in the smog, in the industrial filth up above, and it's daytime as we go on to Night Lords. Turn 3. A faint reddish glow pierces through the clouds, and the Contacard Terminators are delayed, and a number of the Night Lords have fallen back into the shadows. So Sevatar is pushing forward with the units that he has. The Night Raptors down here in the industrial part of the table decided not to jump over towards the bikes, but this is a scoring unit, this is a tactical squad, and they didn't rout any of these units last turn, and they're going to go in and try and make short work of those tactical marines. Sevatar himself pushed forward towards my Terminators who reacted. There's a lot of counter reaction here. I'm coming forward, you react back. You came forward, I've reacted back. It all comes down to who jumps on who here to do as much damage as possible. I couldn't get entirely out of the way though, so there's still a potential charge from Sevatar and his Terminators, but it will be -2 as they come charging through that terrain, so maybe they'll fail. The tank and the Flyer are both aiming at the javelins down here, and then the bike squad zipped up and round. One of them took another wound. They're looking at the Dark Furies. So you're spraying fire all across the battle grid to try and pick on every single target. Meanwhile, there is a Contemptor Dreadnought that wants to come charging in to some recon squads down here. So we'll start here. There's 3 Melters all hitting on 2s and wounding on 2s. And I get a 4-up skirmish save.
Okay.
And I'm okay. Okay, you're going to have to do it with your fists.
Okay.
Next, Vindicator Laser Destroyer. Picking on the tanks, can't jink because you have night vision.
Yep.
It's still in effect, so, well, I can't ever shroud from it.
Correct.
So 3 shots hitting on 3s. They're all twin linked. And all 3 of them hit, and they all wound on 2s. And one of those javelins is down to 2 wounds remaining. before the flyer opens up into them. 5 twin linked shots, which hit on 3s, twin linked, and wound on 2s, all the missiles, all the las, all doing the same thing. And that is 5 wounds, which kills one of the javelins, puts one down to 1 wound. Talking about fast, skimmy things, the bikes that have a zip round, the Sky Hunters with plasma are firing all the blasty plasma down into the Dark Fury squad. Again, I can't shroud this because night vision is the thing, and there's going to be blast template scattering all over the place, so we'll roll off camera one more time. None of the plasma cannons got hot, and you had a bajillion wounds that come through, well, hits through. Now you're rolling to wound.
2s and 4s breach.
Yeah. Okay, armor saves, breaching saves. Ruins. So 3 are injured and they're in ruins, so I have to apply it to them first. Well, actually, 2 of them are characters, so you don't need to. So this is to the wounded guy, who's now dead. Then these are 5-up saves no matter what.
Uh-oh.
1? Just 1. 7.5 are dead. I've got a chooser of the slain. 2 of them are on a wound each. So, well, they're all choosers of the slain now, because there's 7 Dark Furies and 3 choosers of the slain.
Yeah.
So these are all 2-up saves. 2 more wounds come through, leaving 1 well, if I could apply them to a whole, there's 2 choosers of the slain on 1 wound each left. That really hurt. Not just because that's a really expensive unit, but that was my counterpunch there. Ready to jump forward either that way or this way into the bikes. I mean, counter-charging your bikes and sweeping them would be a great idea, but now if I go jumping that way towards your bikes, you're just going to overwatch me.
Yep.
Unless I put them right in front and some of the scatter ricochets back into your bikes. That's if they pass their leadership test and don't run away. Yeah, perfect splashdown of plasma fire there. Have we got any more shots?
I actually don't think so, because they only a few bolt rifle combi bolters, but that's about it.
Into Terminators. They're locked up in combat. So is that the end of the shooting phase?
I think that's the end of the shooting phase.
All right, we'll do a leadership test on the Dark Fury squad. Hopefully I'll roll low. Are they leadership 9? They're leadership 9. They hold. Now we're on to the charge phase. So it's a 9 in charge from Sevatar and his unit this way. I'll try and make him disordered. I will make them disordered, which will mean they'll have less attacks, but 9 inches to make the charge. And that's a 2, so even if the drop dice was a 6, that'd be a failed charge. Meanwhile, in the other corners of the battle grid, the Contemptor Dreadnought makes the charge into the Recon squad, and all the way down in the other corner of the battle grid, the Night Raptors charge the Tactical squad. They have Sudden Strike, so their initiative is higher. So we'll start here. Weapon skill 5. So you're hitting on 3s. And with +1 for wound, Night Lords, a talent for murder. This is all wounding on 2s. At AP3.
With shred.
With shred. And 6's breach. So this kills the entire squad. Unless I start tanking on Artificer. I've got 8 guys there. So these I have to tank on Artificer.
Yeah.
On 2s. And he's still alive somehow. But will the Javelins be able to take the Sergeant down? They hit on 3s.
4s.
4s, you're right. And they're winning on 3s now because you outnumbered the crap out of me.
Yep.
Re-rolling for shred. A talent for murder. So 4 more saves on the Sergeant. He's still alive somehow. And then he gets to fight back. Where is he?
He's right.
He's over there, so I have to hit. No, it's Horus. Yeah, hit your Javelin. Hit you twice. I need 6s. And re-rolling for shred. That is 2 at AP2. Because they're Raven's talents. And then they lost the combat by loads. With fear and everything.
Fear 1, yeah.
I need to, I think it's Snake Eyes. That's not Snake Eyes. We have initiative roll off. And you don't beat me, so he falls back 9 inches and fades back into the shadows. At the end of that combat, the Night Raptors consolidate, the Javelins consolidate, so that weakling attack from the Raven Guard tactical squad in at this flank Completely wasted. They're gone. Now we come across here to the Contemptor Dreadnought, which will be fighting 3 of these at the same time because 2 of them are going to pull out their melter bombs. And he hits on 3s.
Oh no.
And he misses every single time?
Yep.
What happened there? Okay, the 3 normal guys, 5s to hit, 6 to wound, nothing. And then the melter bombs, 5s to hit. I clamp on 2 melter bombs.
Ouch.
So strength 8, toughness 7 is 3s to wound, but it's armor bane against a dreadnought, so you reroll fail wounds. 1 5+ invulnerable save, which you make.
We just bounce off each other, basically.
Strangely, I like to think that the recon squad left some snare mines and things like that, so he came flying in, swinging with his power fist and missed. And they tried to clamp some melters on him, and one just fizzled out on the automatic shielding, and we are locked up here, and that is the end of Night Lords. Turn 3. Yeah, it's getting bloody, particularly with the Dark Furies getting torn down from a 10-man squad all the way down to 2. At least the flyer next turn, after it pivots, I don't think it's got any choice targets. It might have to race off the battle grid and come back on the turn after. These bikers, though, they're going to be largely unaffected. However, it's no longer night time, and I've got some big guns right in front of it. It is turn 4. Turn 3. I do have a Rhino that could come on. Your Terminators were delayed. Has this Rhino been ambushed in the backfield? No, it hasn't. It comes on as well. So in turn 3, the first thing I have to do is see if I roll a 1 there. I don't roll a 1 because this is my outflank position. 1 minute. We remembered one more thing. The Javelins, of course, will have to take a leadership test as well because they suffered more than 25% casualties.
-1.
At -1, so we're good. They're leadership 8 normally. They hold as we go into Raven Guard, turn 3. In the movement phase, the outflanking Rhino comes on this way, multi-melter aimed at the back of the Vindicator. He came on last after the bike zipped up and over the wall, and you'll notice that the Sky Hunters for the Night Lords are a bit closer because you reacted with them when the Javelins came round because they want to fire all of their guns down into your bikers. And they're going to be caught in a crossfire, potentially from my bikers and your. There's a lot of shots coming into those plasma bikers from my Sky Hunters and my Javelins, potentially. Because what I wanted to do with the Sky Hunters is actually charge them. And the 2 Dark Furies that were remaining down here, the Choosers of the Slain, they jumped forward behind this wall because you can only react if you see stuff. And they couldn't see the things. And the idea is, they go charging out, kill them, even though I've only got 2 wounds remaining. Now, it does look like an impossible charge now, but Corvid pattern jump packs add 3 to my charge. And they ignore terrain when they go charging in. So potentially I could still make that charge, maybe, into the Sky Hunters. It depends at which ones Sam N takes away after lots and lots of shots go in. So yeah, try and get rid of the bikers. Try and get rid of the Vindicator laser destroyer. Snipers up here. 2 of them can see down on the bikes, or could before you moved. No, now a couple more can see the bikes because they're back round over there. The Dreadnought is locked up in this. It's a brutal game. It's a brutal game. I've got some scoring units with my snipers down here, some scoring units with 2 snipers down here, but there's still 10 Terminators that haven't deep struck in yet. As for scoring units, remember, scoring units in every table thing counts. So he who has a 1 troops unit alive at the end of the game could potentially win this, and the Vindicator counts as scoring. And the guys inside that transport down here count as scoring, as well as the Rhino itself, and of course, Sevatar's command squad. And we moved forward, cat and mousing each other, and now the Tartarus Terminators, which are a bit quicker than the Cataphractii Terminators, are poised for a charge. But it will be slowed by terrain one more time. Is this the turn Captain Archon catches Sevatar, first captain of the Night Lords, in an assault? We shall see. First, we must move on to the shooting phase, and I might as well start with a Rhino. I've lined it up perfectly to shoot your Vindicator in the bum. Evading?
Nope.
No? Why not? It's Vindicator. It's a lovely vehicle. Look at it.
No.
3s to hit. Twin linked. Brilliant. That's why you didn't need to. Okay then. Javelins. Javelins firing everything at your bikes. Do you want to evade this?
You are tempting me.
I am. I'm trying to tempt you. There's 6 shots in total, and you won't get a feel no pain. 2 of them are twin linked. 2 of them are not twin linked. But it hits, it wounds, you're dead. Because you can never take cover saves with jet bike cavalry. Potentially I could kill 6 is what I'm saying, or maybe 5. Oh no, I can see 6.
I can see 6. I kind of want to shoot you back.
Oh, you could return fire, yeah.
But I wanted to return fire on these guys.
You wanted to return fire on the bikes. Well, that's why I'm picking the javelins to shoot you first with, you see.
Decisions.
Because they can take more. Final answer?
Yep, final answer. Just pray that they don't die.
So you're hoping that'll roll badly?
Yeah.
I never roll terribly. Here's 4 las cannons to the face. And 3 of them hit. Here's the twin link multi-mowers. Twin linked. So that is only 4 wounds that come through, 4 shots that come through, but on 2s, you're picking up bikes.
I'm going to roll lots of 1s.
I rolled 1-1. 3 bikes get annihilated. So there's 4 Sky Hunters remaining along with the Apothecary, and because you reacted back from the javelins, the snipers can now see down through those walls again and try and hit you. Here's the guy that hits on 2s, the Sergeant. Here's the remaining Nemesis bolters. And in the end, only 3 hits. 3's wound, 5's breach. So I'll put that on the Apothecary, who needs to make a feel no pain.
Feel no pain. He makes, and then a normal armor save. He is Artificer, he's fine.
Sniper fire there, just cracking into the walls of the broken ruin and over the heads of the bikers. So now we come down here to my bikers. Now if I fire at them, you're going to shroud or return fire. So I'm going to put all of my bikers into the Vindicator because it scores. And finally, you're choosing to evade because there's not much more shooting happening. Here's all the shots that hit on, and then the twin linkedness. And that is 4 hits that come through, and you're in armor bane range. Your side armor 13. First one, pens. Second one, pens. Third one, pens. And the last one, pens. You do get 6 up saves because I can't see all of that side vehicle because of the crates in front. And you make 1 of them, and then you get 5 evasion saves of 5 up. Sorry, 3 evasion saves of 5 up, and you make 1 of them. Yeah. So only 2 get through. I think it's got a total of 3 hull points. So unless I roll a 5 or 6, it's not dead. Please roll a 5 or 6. Emperor, don't hear my prayer because I'm not praying to you. Just hear my prayer. And that's a stunned, no, actually, a 4-5 is weapon destroyed, and that's a stunned. So the weapon destroyed, you can put it on the bolter.
Definitely.
Stunned means it can't move, but because it's got reinforced armor, it isn't snap firing. It's just firing in a line straight down on 1 hull point left. So stopped in place just with the big Magna gun, and because the gun is centerline, which means it fires down the length width of the chassis, it actually hasn't got targets next turn. So that's okay. That's okay. The tank isn't dead yet. I think that's the end of my shooting phase. I could put some shots down here. Yeah, let's put some shots into Sabotage unit. Unlikely to hurt them because they're in Terminator armor, and these are just combi bolters. And I need force to wound. I do a wound.
2 up save. Oh, no. Feel no pain. Oh, they're fine.
They're fine. Okay, so yeah, very unlikely to hurt you. Now we need to make a charge. I think it's a 6.
I will make this disordered.
Okay.
I don't know what 17.
You rolled a 10?
Is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Praetor leadership 10. You're fine. You will make it disordered. But how far is this charge? Finally, has one of us been able to jump on the other? And that's a 9. I get in there. Crump, we go charging in there, but I've got some more charges to make. The Sky Hunters are going to try and charge the side of that Vindicator, and they go 7. They'll get in there. Crump, we get in. I know it's only on 1 wound remaining, and honestly, I don't want it to die because then you can't shoot back in at that squad. Yeah. Because, mind you, even if it does die, I'm quite happy with that. Then I've got the Dark Furies behind the wall that want to charge your bikes, but then we remembered your bikes need a leadership test. Leadership 8.
Leadership 8.
And you rolled a 5, so you're good. And the Dark Fury, with the bonuses to their charge, need to make an 8-inch charge. And that's an 8. Crump, the 2 choosers of the slain get here. They have to take terrain tests. They're both on a wound each, and they're fine. And they have 3 attacks each. They have 2 for the loadout. They get +1 to the charge. And I'm striking you first, because they have Sudden Strike 1. 12 attacks with 2 guys. It's crazy. And they hit you on 3s. At strength 4. A wound on 4s. With a bit of shreddy shred. And that is AP 3. And those rend. Feel no pain on the rending. And that is 2 wounds.
Kills a guy. And then I'll take a 2 up on the Artificer armor on the Sergeant.
Yes.
He's fine.
He's fine. I forgot the 2 Hammer of Wraths as well. So that's another wound, which you can put on the Sarge.
He's fine.
Fine. Okay, only 2 wounds. Then you fight back. Here's the 4 attacks on 2 remaining Sky Hunters on 5s though. Oh, nice. And wounding on 4s. These are chainsaws though. You got Shreddy Shred. That is 2 wounds. 2 up saves. I'm okay. There is an Apothecary who's got an additional attack. And he hits on 4s. 6s, sorry. 5s. And wounds on a 4 with Shred.
Reroll. Nope.
No. And then you've got a Sergeant with a power weapon instead.
Yeah, 3 attacks.
Yeah, 5s to hit.
5s.
He misses. That is the end of the combat. Your leadership -1, sir. So you're at leadership 6.
Why am I the -1?
Because you lost 2 wounds.
Yes.
So you're leadership -2, sorry.
Yeah, so leadership 6.
Leadership 6. Can I sweep the squad?
Failed.
That's a failed leadership test. We roll a dice. If my dice is higher than yours, I sweep the entire unit. You rolled a 5. I rolled a 2. No, they successfully fall back 3d6 inches because they're cavalry. And that is 10.
Are those bigger?
Did they touch the edge of the board? I think you're going to be okay. Tell people what happened, Sam.
That was close.
How close?
Half an inch close.
Half an inch close. So the biker squad annihilated the Dark Furies, and the 2 remaining choosers of the slain jumped out and have routed that unit. Even if they regroup next turn, they're only going to be snap firing. And you can't snap fire with plasma cannons. You can't snap fire with blast. They're blocked, they've jumped, they've moved out of the way. We're going to get onto Sevatar's unit in a minute. First, let's find out what the bikers do against the tank. I'll start off with the Sergeant. Because he can... What's the rear armor of a Vindicator? Rear armor 10. I was just checking. I was going to say he's the only one that can hurt it with a rending claw.
Yeah.
But a rear armor 10, we can all hurt it. Anyway, 2s to hit a vehicle. And 6s will kill your tank. With a bit of shred. Dead tank. Which, it's rending 4 up. So it's normal AP 3, so it can't blow up. That is just a wreck. The Vindicator is smoking, it's steaming, and now finally, we come down here to the battle with Sevatar and my unit. Now, the thing is, Sevatar, he's an absolute beast. He's weapon skill 7 and a higher initiative. And in a challenge, all of his attacks become instant death. But in a challenge, wounds can't spill out of a challenge. It'll just hit the guy he kills utterly. But if I accept with my chaplain, then no longer stubborn. And if I accept with my praetor, then that's slay the warlord. So I've got a load of bad options here. Or you could just pour it onto the whole entire unit. What do you want to do?
We're definitely challenging you.
You're definitely challenging me. I guess I can't lose stubborn, and I can't, because it happens at high initiative. So if I accept with my chaplain and he dies, then I lose all the buffs from that unit. So Sevatar and my praetor go toe-to-toe. Right, Sevatar's going first because he's really high initiative and he's got a psychic power. Night Lords can see into the future. You need to pass a leadership test of 7 or less.
No.
Which you fail, which means he suffers a bit of perils of the warp. That's a wound onto the unit. That would give him an extra attack, but he doesn't need it anyway because he's still initiative 6 and he's still fighting first. And he's got 4 attacks. And at the higher initiative, he hits on 3s.
And it's mastercrafted. Ooh.
And only 1 hit comes through. Strength 6.
2s.
AP 2. Instant death. A 50-50 save on my Praetor, or Sevatar cuts him down with one blow. Only one blow needed to land because blood is leaking from his nose after that failed psychic attempt. And my Praetor falls. That is Slay the Warlord. Next up, the Primaris Medicae and the Chaplain get to fight. The Primaris Medicae, we'll go with that, seeing as we're doing bad guys first. He hits the unit on 3s. He's got a power weapon. He hits twice. He'll wound the unit on 4s.
Yes, I don't outnumber.
Yeah, you don't outnumber me. And that is up wound. Power weapon, 6s with breach, but that is just a 2-up save, and I'm fine. Then my Chaplain goes. You made me disordered, right?
Yes.
So he's got his base 3 attacks, then his 2 for his claws, and that's it.
Yep.
And he hits your unit.
Weapon skill 5, I am.
Your weapon skill 5? They're a command squad. So yeah, I'm weapon skill 5 as well. So I'm hitting you on 4s, but it's a Chaplain. He really hates the Night Lords. And Raven's Claws. Wound on 4s, and reroll, and 5's breach. So that is 4 up and vulnerable saves. And then a bit of feeling of the pain. And one was injured already, and the injured one falls. Next up, down to Initiative 4. I've got a boatload of Initiative 4 with all of my stuff. You've got Chain Fist.
Yeah.
That guy's got a claw. He's got a power weapon. He's got a claw.
Correct.
So we'll do your attacks because we're on them. Power weapon on the Sarge? Or
yeah,
3
power
attacks?
weapon first. So hitting on 3s because my weapon skill's higher than yours.
Yes.
Hits once.
Brilliant.
Wounds on a 4.
Doesn't do anything. Lightning Claw gives you an extra attack, so 3s to hit. Everything hits. 4s to wound. With a bit of shredding. 2 wounds, but it is AP3, so Terminator saves. I'm okay. Here are all the Raven's talents, but you're a command squad, so I need to hit you on 5s.
Good job you're re-rolling.
Is that only 4 hits? Yeah. Re-rolling everything for hatred. Only 9 hits come through. I need 4s to wound. Re-rolling for shred. In the end, that is a Terminator save. And all of those are 4-up and vulnerable saves.
So 2-up save. Maybe.
Brilliant. And then 7 Terminator invulnerable saves. You only make 2, but you have got Feel No Pains.
Yep. So this will go on the guys that have already hit. This will go on first.
And that is 3 more wounds. So there's 3 left in that command squad, plus the 2 characters. Here's the Chain Fists from the command squad. 3s to hit. And you get 3 hits through. 2s to wound. They are Chain Fists. 2 wounds come through. It's Terminator saves. 5-up and vulnerable saves, or dead. Dead. Then I've got 2 axes remaining, and hatred kicks in, and nothing hits. And then I've got 2 hammers remaining, and one of them's the Sarge. And these are 5s. And then re-rolling for hatred. Only 1 hit. Doesn't even wound. You definitely won that combat.
Yeah, you did.
I'm leadership 10 stubborn.
You did, yeah.
And I hold. With this fight ongoing, we move back down to the Dreadnought one more time. Hopefully he'll be able to hit this time. After stumbling over the trip mines and claymores, he'll hit on a 3. And he hits twice. He'll kill him on 2s. And he kills 2 of them. And then the normal guy at normal initiative misses. And then the melter bombs, one of them hits. Wounds on a... That 5-up automatic. No. And it's instant death. So D3 against a Dreadnought for 3 wounds. Which means I won that combat somehow. Which means I don't have to pass a leadership test and fall back and the Dreadnought overrun me. Well, melter bombs for the win. You know, you can give every single guy in a recon squad a melter bomb. 5 points each. It's crazy. With this fight ongoing in the corner, that is the end of turn 3. And finally, the Raven Guard are getting some penetration. Wiping out the Vindicator, making the Sky Hunters fall back and locking up Sevatar, even though this fight hasn't gone very well for me. There's a lot of Night Lord's assets in this corner. The cavalry, the javelins, the guys inside the Rhino, the Terror Squad back there, Then as we sweep round this way, a smoking Vindicator and some Sky Hunters falling back. But in turn 4 for the Night Lords, the Contocar Terminators will make it to the battle grid. And you have to regroup your bikes or they're going to fall off the table. So leadership 8 or less. And that's a 6. They regroup. They'll be snap firing in turn 4. Turn 5, the game automatically ends and then they can move and do whatever they need to do as we move on to Night Lords. Turn 4. In the Night Lords movement phase, the Xiphon Interceptor zooms off the battle grid to return in the last turn of the game, while the bikes regroup and while the fight with Sevatar and the Terminators down here is ongoing. The Contocar Terminators finally make it to the battle grid, and with a flash of a teleport array, they appear next to the unit of bikes, next to the Rhino that's outflanked deep into the Night Lords lines. Over here, there's a couple more units that the Night Lords still have, though. The Javelin Speeders, they have a unit of infantry inside that Rhino, and they have the Terror Squad down here as well. Forces that are going to sweep from right to left and try and clear away the Night Lords' back lines. Meanwhile, this Dreadnought fights on. The snipers up here continue to snipe. These two little snipers down here will hide underneath the Sky Shield landing pad and stay very, very quiet. We're both running out of scoring options. We're both running out of troops, but we're still keeping some troops in no man's land and troops in each of our deployment zones. Right now, though, that Rhino and the contents inside are scoring lots of, or potentially could score lots of points as we go into the Night Lord shooting phase. So we're going to start the shooting phase with the Javelanis firing down into the Rhino, and they have prey sight, so I can't evade this. Here's the missiles.
On 3s. Twin linked.
And that is 5 hits. Strength 8, side armor 11, 3's glance, 4's pen. And we have 3 penetrating hits and a glancing hit. There is intervening stuff. So a 6 on the glance, which I make, and a 6 on the pens, which I don't make. So the Rhino is a wreck and the unit get out. And are they pinned? No, they're not. So the troop unit scramble out of the back of the wrecked Rhino. Where are we going next, Sam?
Contocar, all their Volkite into the bikes.
Volkite? How many shots?
4 shots each. There's 10 of them, so 40 shots.
That's a lot of shots. I could shroud this, right?
Yes, they haven't got prey sight.
Or I could return fire. I think I'm returning fire.
Bring it.
3's to hit. You got them all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dice. Lots of hits. 2's to wound, though. Drop dice don't count. If you're shooting at that squad, that means you're charging that squad.
Yes.
So I might as well start tanking on IFISA, because by the time they make it into close combat, I'm dead, right?
Yeah, you got a guy wounded, though.
Yeah, the wounded guy. He's now dead. Okay, Artificer. He's on 1 wound. Rest of the squad, I keep doing it on him. They're dead anyway. He's alive. He's alive. He's dead. These are all 3-up saves. There's a total of 8 wounds left in that squad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Volkite has deflagrate though, so it continues to burn on those 2 remaining
wounds.
Bikers. And there's 1 biker left alive.
No, there's 2 wounds left.
Yeah, so there was only 2 wounds left. Yep, they're all dead, but before they all die, they return fire. It's twin linked. 5 of them hit. 5 of them wound. 4+. Terminate. Oh no, they're Tartarus. They've got 5s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be in trouble there. 3.
So the Contocar Terminators arrived to the party late, but they dealt with the problem, wiping out that unit of bikes. And interestingly, that is the end of the shooting phase. I don't have any morale to take. No. So we're going on to the charge phase. The Contocars can't charge. They've killed what they were aiming at. The Raptors are going to go in, however, against my Terminator squad. And they can hardly fail. That's a 6-inch charge. Have we got any more charges coming up?
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Pinned or regrouping, should I say. So yeah, that's it.
And these guys have sudden strike as well. So they've got +1 initiative when they charge. Challenges issued by Sevatar, denied by my chaplain because you'll just kill him. And I want to keep my hatred going. I want to keep my stubborn going after you went charging in there again. So Sevatar just strikes out at the unit on threes. And he hits 3 times.
Mastercrafted.
He hits 4 times. Strength +2, so wounds on 2s. And he wounds 3 times. And on 4s...
No, strength 6.
Yeah, 4 times. And on 4s, they're Murderous Strike.
It might be Murder Strike 6+. You might be right, actually.
Murder Strike 6 up. Okay, so 5 up and buns. He only kills 1. Then the Primaris Medicae gets the fight. He hits on 3s. And he hits once. He's got a power sword. It does wound. And I fail that save. I take a wound. Then we're doing a bajillion attacks from the Terror Squad at Initiative 5. They hit on 3s. And because the Night Lords outnumber me, they wound on 2s. And they re-roll this. And 6s breach. Okay, so there's 3 that I need invulnerable saves for. And these are all 2-up saves. So 2-up saves on all this big pile. One of them was injured. So that's 2 more dead. And then these are 5-ups. And that's 3.5 dead. So I've got 4 Terminators and my Chaplain left. Chaplain's Initiative 5. He's going to turn around.
He's in the challenge.
Oh yeah, he can't fight. He just stood there. So now you fight at Initiative 4?
Yeah, so I've got the one guy with claws.
Okay.
Hitting on 3s.
Yep. And he hits twice.
Wounding on 4s. With shred. 1 wound, AP 3.
Terminator save. I'm okay. All right then. Now, what we're going to do is put the 2 claws into the Raptor squad. Nah, everything into Sevatar squad. Points means prizes, right? Yeah. You charge me again. I get hatred again. So here's all my claws into Sevatar squad. 5s to hit you though. With the reroll. Drop dice. So that's okay. That's 5 hits. 4s to wound you. With the reroll for Shreddy Shred. And that is 2 Terminator saves.
4 ups. Make them both.
Then we're down to Initiative 1. Here's my hammers into Sevatar squad. And only 2 hits. And this time I managed to wound. It's brutal 2 though, so...
First save. Fails. And the second save. Fail.
So I hammer 2 of your guys to death, and then you got 2 chain fists in there remaining.
Correct.
So 4 attacks back again, and 3 of them hit.
And 2s.
And 2 of them wound. So I killed 2 of yours with big smashing things. Do you kill 2 of mine? Yes, you do. And at the end of all of that, Sevatar's left next to the guy with a banner. So we're still scoring. And there's the Primaris Medicae. And I've got 2 Terminators left with my Chaplain, who needs to pass Leadership 10 stubborn. And he holds. And we're still locked up. And that's not the end of Night Lord's turn 4. We still have the Dreadnought fighting these 2 guys. This time he hits every single time. On 2s, he'll kill the squad and break free finally. And he kills the squad. And I'll fight. It's unwieldy, the Melter Bomb. So you'll kill them before I get a chance to plant the Melter Bomb. But one will punch back at the normal initiative. And wounds. 2-up save.
Yes.
And doesn't hurt the Dreadnought. And the Dreadnought finally breaks free from that recon squad. And he can consolidate. But he can't climb all the way up to the top of that ruin. It'll just crumble beneath his feet. So at the end of turn 4 for the Night Lords, my Warlord is dead. So they have got a point this turn. And the Rhino and its contents can score. And over here, this unit in the enemy deployment zone, in the Night Lords deployment zone, can score also. As well as the snipers down the other side of the battle grid. But apart from that tactical squad, and a couple of Dark Furies and Javelins and some snipers, I have very little left as we go into Raven Guard turn 4. So, in the Raven Guard movement phase, the tactical marines that got blown out of the Rhino are not running away from the Contacars, which reacted. Yeah. That's not what... I know that's what it looks like over here. We're not... It's just that way, that's the Night Lord's lines, right? Yeah. So they're breaking off to do all stealthy shit deep behind the enemy lines over there. That's what's happening there. The The Dark Fury jumped up and over behind that wall so I could charge your units of bikers, and you can't overwatch them because you can't see. And you reacted towards me?
Correct.
You reacted towards me. So Overwatch will be very interesting because blast markers could splash back and hit that unit. So that's interesting. Over here, though, having seen you do that, the javelins have jinked around to get some shots into your bikers. But before we do that, the snipers are going to plunge fire down into them. Meanwhile, 2 of my snipers hide and stay very, very quiet down here. Here's the sniper fire into your bikers, hitting on 2s with one of the guys. The other guys hit on 3s, and that is only 2 hits. And that's on your apothecary, please.
Apothecary.
And that's a 5-up, feel no pain.
Do I get a cover save?
You'd never get cover saves on cavalry.
Take a wound.
The apothecary, it's down to 1 wound remaining, just 1 more shot, and I'd have had him. So there's 1 more shot up here, firing down at your apothecary's unit on a 2. That's a hit. Wounds on a 3. That's a rend. You need to make a 5-up, feel no pain, or your apothecary had his head blown off.
Easy.
He ducks, he covers, he's still on 1 wound. Javelins into the squad then. Multi-melters, which are twin linked. Only 1 of them hits.
Going to react by shrouding.
Las cannons, only 3 hits in total. 3 wounds, however. 5-up shrouding saves or death. And 2 of them get wiped out. Then over here, the tactical marines that could see didn't fire back over their shoulder because they're trying to sneak away into the ruin. It's not that I'm scared about return fire from all the Contacars. So they're sneaking off over there. We have a leadership test to take on your bikers.
8, they're fine.
They hold.
Just.
And now my Dark Furies will charge them. Do you want to overwatch?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay. 2 gets hot because there's 2 plasmas in that squad remaining.
Oh, they both get hot.
Oh dear. 2 feel no pains. And they both die. Well, the 1 on 1 wound, he dies. Is there any on a wound?
So this is the apothecary.
Okay.
So these guys are fine. So they both take a wound.
They both take a wound each.
Cool.
Yeah. And then they fire. You're putting on the back guy. Let's roll a scatter on camera because this could be nice.
So the first one
hits. That's 2 of them.
And the second one
scatters back an inch, and that will still hit 2 of them.
Yep.
You win on 2s.
Winning 2s, really looking for the 4s.
Yes. That's 1 rend, 1 not rend. The rend, 5-up ruin. He's dead. And the not rend is a 2. He's not dead. 1 gets wiped out. You've got 4 shots from the bolter with the apothecary as well, and he hits on 3s because he's got a heavy bolter. And that is 2 hits. 3 still wounds.
You're on 2s because I outnumber you. Oh,
2
wounds.
wounds.
It under the
2 wounds.
Yeah.
2 2-up saves. That one. And that one. I'm alive. Then I jump forward and I engage you on a 1. I take dangerous. I don't take dangerous. Now we fight. 1 lone chooser of the slain screaming for the Emperor and Korax. Hits on 3s. And he hits 3 times. His arms are very tired. Wounds on 4s and re-rolls. And that, well, it's AP3 anyway. Basically, you need to make 2 5-up feel no
I
pains.
have artifice from the sergeant.
Okay, so 2-up.
I'll take the first wound on the feel no pain just to kill the guy.
Yep. It doesn't kill the guy.
And then I have to take it on him, so feel no pain again.
And you're still alive. So, chainswords fighting back from the apothecary and the guy on 5s, and that is 2 hits. And you outnumber me, so you win on 3s.
3s
with the reroll. That's 1 wound so far. 1 wound. 2-up save. He's alive. And now your sergeant with his power sword.
Yeah, on
5s.
5s.
He hits once.
And on 3s, because I outnumber you. Wounds.
Wounds. Again. Save.
Yes.
And make the save. And we're locked up. No wounds caused on either side. The Dark Fury, the Chooser of the Slain, and these 3 remaining bikers are still locked up. And then we come back to the main event, to Sevatar versus my chaplain and 2 remaining Terminators.
I shall challenge you.
I accept your challenge.
Psychic power,
Okay.
which I pass.
Okay. Gives you an extra attack, back up to 5.
And weapon skill 8 now.
Okay. Well, my chaplain's it's still 3s to hit him.
Still 3s.
With the master. Oh, you don't need it.
And then 2s.
2s to wound.
Ooh.
That is 2 wounds. 2 5-up invulnerable saves. My chaplain's fine. He's got this. Look, the first one, he's dead. The second one, he's very dead. He's very, very dead. I've got 2 hammers left in that squad, so we're definitely fighting last. Primaris Medicae and Raptors get to go. Here's the Raptors.
On 3s. Is a weapon skill 5. Oh, that's not good.
That's not good. But you are wounding on 2s, because picking up on people, or picking on people.
It's the best way to be, just bully people.
6 breach.
Really
And you've got the
one.
shredding. Okay.
It's just 2-up saves.
Interesting. Lots of 2-up saves. I take a wound. Primaris Medicae gets to strike. He hits twice.
And
3s to wound. He wounds once, but it's rending.
Yeah, read it.
Okay, one of my hammers dies. There's a hammer left. Are we got any more initiative for?
The claws on the banner bearer.
Okay.
Nice.
He hits all 3 times.
And 3s with shred.
Okay.
1 rending, 2 2-up saves.
Rending, 2-up saves. The hammer's alive on 1 wound. And he strikes out at Sevatar's unit.
Yep.
He's the sergeant, obviously. 5s. Hits once. Wounds on a 2. Wounds. 2 brutal saves. Now,
I'm going to put this...
it's either on your... You can put it on Sevatar, it could insta-kill him. Put it on the banner, you're not scoring. Put it on the Primaris Medicae, you lose feel no pain.
We put it on the Medicae because I need the scoring in No Man's Land.
Okay, 5-up invulnerable save with a refractive fields.
He's in Cataphractic Plate though.
Is he?
'Cause
4-up.
That was the upgrade we had
Yep.
to put on him. So 4-ups, he's dead.
My sergeant, on 1 wound remaining, needs to roll a 4 or lower. And
He's running.
that means he's running. So Sevatar will try and catch him.
It's actually the Night Raptors.
Actually, yeah, Sevatar can't because you're attached to a Cataphracti. So yeah, Night Raptors, D6 plus 2 is 6. I rolled a 7. You've got 4, 7. I fall back.
You run, yes.
6 inches. So the Night Raptors consolidate, Sevatar and the Banner Bearer consolidates as the last Tartarus Terminator breaks. It took a few rounds of combat to get through, but as ever, Sevatar is king. And we're about to go on to turn 5, the last turn of the game. Bikes and the Contemptors over here are largely out of the fight, but I've got a couple of scoring units over there and a scoring unit deep inside the Night Lord's lines. And if they don't deal with this, they won't be able to score their home objective. Scoring units for the Night Lords are all inside this Rhino here and the Rhino itself. As we're going to... Oh, of course, and Sevatar and his banner.
Yeah.
Sevatar can do some stuff as well. As we go into Night Lords 10-5. In the Night Lords movement phase, everything is heading back down towards the Night Lords deployment zone to get rid of this tactical squad here. We have the Contakar Terminators, the Skimmers, and this unit have jumped out as well. They can throw some firepower in as well. And you are in that zone and this zone. So you're in your own deployment zone and no man's land. And I'm in my own deployment zone and no man's land. The flyer comes skimming back on to shoot at the javelins over there. Meanwhile, the Dreadnought is coming to deal with the last Dark Fury. Sevatar is looking at the last Terminator. And your Night Raptors are looking at this last sniper up here who's been a pain for the whole game, because the person with who's got the most remaining units at the end of the game gets an extra point.
Yeah.
And right now it's 1-0. And if it ended right now, it would be 1-0 because you're doing the scory thing, I'm doing the scory thing, would have the same number of points for the troops here, there and everywhere. You're winning by killing the Warlord. So it really comes down to who kills more or who's got more left standing.
Yeah.
So where do we want to start the shooting phase?
Start the flyer because it can only go to the javelins.
Okay, everything into javelins, 5 shots, twin linked, hitting on 3s. With the twin linked and no cover, no shrouding from this. Everything's
2s.
wounding on 2s. And that is 3 wounds. One of them was down to 1 wound remaining, so one's dead and one's on 2 wounds. After the flyer shot, we're coming back down here to the Night Lord's deployment zone. There's 6 of the Conticars that can see this unit. These tactical marines are going to try and shroud and fade back into the night. But the Conticars hit with all the Volkites on 3s.
It's really got
Much less wounds than last time. Well, 2s to wound, but a lot less wounds than last time. See, the thing is, I don't want to tank it on my Artificer save because there's going to be a lot more shots coming in and the leadership test will be on the Sarge. And if there is 1 troop left in this deployment zone at the end of all of this shooting, and there's a lot of shooting coming in, then you won't score your home objective.
Yep. And
potentially I could win the game. So these are all 3-up saves against the Volkites. And you killed just 2. Deflagrate. 2 more wounds come through. You killed just 2 of them. So the tactical marines fire in with their bolt rifles. Bolt rifles? Bolt guns. Bolt rifles is 40k. These wound on 4s. And this is 5 wounds again, just on the normal guys. They kill 3, and the Conticars only killed 2, so this unit has been cut down by half. Are the javelins going in as well?
We'll put the Rhino in next.
Okay, Rhino, 1 shot at this range with the bolt gun. That's a bit cocked.
Yeah.
Hits, wounds on a 4, doesn't wound. 5 Space Marines remaining. Then the javelins unload into them. Here's straight shots from the missiles, which are twin linked. All 6 hit. These wound on 2s. Right, they're AP3. So I changed my plan of attack because these will insta-kill the 4 remaining guys, and then I'll have to do it the other way around. So Artificer, 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 Artificer. He's dead. Heavy bolters rain in. This is the last bit of shooting that is going to come back and hit this unit.
2s. So I outnumber you.
You outnumber me and I'm injured and I'm reeling and there's 4 Marines left. And this is more wounds than Marines.
Oh, they die.
And they get wiped out to a man just. Rushing back to the very corner of the battle grid, the Night Lords managed to clear their lines. That is the end of the shooting phase. Then we had some charges. The Raptors jump up here to clear away the last of the snipers. Sevatar charges in to the last of the Terminators. And round here, the Dreadnought charges the last of the Dark Furies. And the Dreadnought hits the Dark Fury on a 4.
Oh my god.
And misses. Here's the Chainswords from the Sky Hunters with the Apothecary. They need 5s to hit and 3s to wound. With the reroll, they both wound. And the Dark Fury is dead. Or the Chooser of the Slain. He'll strike out with the bikes at the same time, hitting on 3s and only hit once. He's very, very poorly. And Shred, feel no pain. He takes one of them with him. And at the end of the combat, finally, there's just the Sergeant Biker remaining and the Apothecary on the Biker, rescued by the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought distracted him, you see. Distracted him and ran straight through him. Where are we going next?
We will hit you with 3 guys from the Night Raptors.
3 guys can fight. They're hitting on 3s. They're higher initiative. And you're definitely wounding me on 2s.
Yeah. 6 is rend.
Well, it's AP3, so you would have killed 6 Recon Marines. You wipe out the squad. And then we're on to Sevatar versus the last Terminator.
It'd be rude not to do a psychic power.
Okay.
Which he passes.
He passes. That gets him an extra attack. He's up to 6 on the charge. And that means he's weapon skill 8 versus my 4. So he hits on 2s. You've got an extra attack because you pass your psychic power and the charge.
He charged. Yeah, I forgot about that. And
it's master crafted. 2s to hit. He hits 6 times. 2s to wound. Right, okay. And that's all AP2.
Yep.
I've got to roll 5 5s. Yeah.
He's dead.
He tried, but you run through it. And that's the end of Night Lord's turn 5. I forgot to do the leadership test on the Javelin, which fails and falls back 3d6 inches and is gone. And then we go on to Raven Guard turn 5. And with me scoring my home objective and no one scoring the middle objective, it means we've got the same number of points for scoring each objective.
Yeah.
And you've got an extra point for killing the Warlord.
Yeah.
And if this Javelin was alive, his job was try to snipe out Sevatar. Because right now it's 1-0 to the Night Lords. And if I could have sniped out and insta-killed Sevatar, I'd have got 1 for killing the Warlord plus an extra 2 points. And he's broken and lost me the game. And this is the way the world ends. We get 3 points each for each of our home objectives, and you killed more, and you got my Warlord, so 5 points to 3 for the Night Lords. And I need to roll to see if there's the las cannons, and I just remember preferred enemy and twin linked on the thing, and twin linked, and then 2s to wound that squad, and then that many 4-up saves, and you can do it all together because it's all 4-up saves. Okay, 4s, and then Shroud. You need to make both of these. And you made the Shroud. But if you'd have failed that dice roll, instead of 5 points to 3, it would have been 6 points to 5 in favour of the Raven Guard. And all I've got left at the end of that battle is 2 Sniper Marines up here, 5 Sniper Marines up here. We came in at a decapitation strike to try and cut Sevatar's head off. And we failed, mainly because I forgot the preferred enemy thing for my hammers. But second time playing with the Raven Guard list, so just getting my head around it. And that was an absolutely brutal game. Sam N, you got so many things left on the table. How was it for you?
I mean, I loved it. I missed it because I've not played for probably 4 to 5 months at least.
Heresy,
yeah. I've been busy.
Okay.
So, no, it was great. The only thing I wish was I had a Master of Signals ready, because the counter cards coming in turn 4 did hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, I weathered the storm and kind of just stayed out of the range of the stuff that didn't have the night vision.
Yeah. I think in our last couple of games, your reserves always come on. One of them always seems to come on in turn 4.
Yeah, I think the first game I played and I put a load of stuff in reserves, I think both my planes came in.
Oh yeah, the Xiphons, yeah.
Yeah, I think I had 2 of them, and possibly there was something else, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, particularly as you've only got Sevatar and now a Primaris Medicae.
Yeah.
You can have 3 HQs, so you can bring Sevatar, Primaris Medicae, and the Master of Signals to guarantee that your reserves come on. It gives you that reroll.
Yeah.
Raven Guard, when I will run the recon company, get a re-roll to go first and a re-roll to seize. And Raven Guard with a list like this, which is fast and speedy, I really need to go first. That decapitation strike, that thing, if I pounce on you first, I think it would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
I had to play cagey though. I had to stay back. I had to draw you out until my lines and in the air and try and get Sevatar. And look, I was so close. So close.
I think in the end, we found out who the true Lords of the Night are, and that is the Night Lords.
Yes, we can both completely agree. At the end of this battle, the true Lords of the Night are definitely the Raven Guard, not the Night Lords. We do hope you enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.